2022 Massanella, or our beloved rosé. So for those of us that have been with us on the journey for a couple of years, you'll remember that our 2020 Massanella rosé was a very food-friendly rosé, structured, bold, a bit muscular rosé. Whereas the one we made last year, the 2020, was a completely different style. It was this super elegant, charming, light, vibrant, dancing, I call it just, pleasure wine, really. It was a wine made for just enjoyment under the sunshine on the terrace with your friends. And then this year, what we wanted to do was to try to combine those two, meaning that I wanted to make I call it a serious charmeur. So we wanted to have some of the food friendliness in the body that we had a lot of in the 20, together with the charm and the freshness and the elegance and the lightness of the 2021. And so how do we do this? How do we manage? Because we did manage. We work very much on the harvest time of the Grenache. This is always mainly Grenache. It's 94% this year. And working only with mainly one grape variety, this is really a precision work on the harvest. We want to have perfect aromatic expression for the rosé. We want to have enough acidity, not too much, so very much precision on that, but also very much precision in the winery. And having our new amazing winery really helps here. So very cool process everywhere, chilling the grapes down as always, but then very, very careful work with the press. And here that's a masterpiece of this wine. So it's really a matter of putting the grapes in to the press, and then a slow press with the only maceration it really gets is the time in the press. Very, very light press as well to not get too much tannin out of the skin, and just enough color, just enough structure. So again, this is really a work on precision in the vineyard, one, and mainly with the press and also temperature and a little bit other things. And then we tasted it and we were pretty happy, but of course it's a bit boring for us only making 100% of one wine from one fermentation. So we tried to play around a bit with different things, trials and errors, and then we got this brilliant idea to try to blend in a little bit of Cabernet Sauvignon. Yes, we do have Cabernet Sauvignon, but this is the first year we harvested a tiny bit of Cabernet Sauvignon, a separate fermentation, tiny bit in a tiny tank somewhere. We didn't really know what to use it for yet, the first vintage as well. However, a little bit of this, so 6% of this, really brought out not only a little bit more color, but also a bit more spice, a bit more structure in the wine. And it has this beautiful nose that is just immediately taking me back to childhood, walking outside and wild strawberries, but also a lot of apple blossom, and really like the most crunchy Braeburn, Fuji red apple you can find. It's super charming. There's also some ripe orange blossom in here, and it really just screams taste me, so I'll do that. The same here, we really nailed that bit of, you have the charm, you have the fruit, you have the lightness, and then you have a bit more structure coming afterwards, body. So it's really a wine that you can both use as your terrace wine. It's a happy rosé as always, but it definitely has enough power on the back palate to work with whatever selection of tapas you feel like nibbling on when you get a bit hungry, or like me, if you love cooking for your wine. This year, it calls for big red Spanish gambas, the huge, really amazing ones, and even just like a la plancha with some salt, perfect. Or together in a salad of some kind with I think pink grapefruit, because the wine has that touch of pink grapefruit to it. Spinach leaves to give that earthiness, maybe some hazelnuts and a vinaigrette of, what do you think here, lemon, roasted hazelnuts, and great olive oil. Simple but delicious. And then of course to the glass here, I'm drinking this in the Riedel Zinfandel Riesling glass, which is one of my favorite glasses from Riedel for our wines, because it really brings out also here, it works very much on the aromatics, so you have this beautiful expression of the fruit, and also on the palate, it really works with the texture of the wine. So 2020 Massanella, our serious charmeur this year.